if you could build on a law giving universal flags to sympathizers that weren't necessarily a part of the nation during that time, like he would give it to like Mayor Lindsay, Barry Garthia, and other.
Okay, you say sympathizers, but you really don't know, cause
the reason why I say because I got that from a law.
It was a shock that I was hit with March 30th, 2019. Sid Davidoff. You know who he was?
Yes.
Okay, he was
when he spoke. Yeah, right.
You remember what he said?
I have to record it.
He said he was a 5%er, a Caucasian Jewish 5%er.
Right.
Peace. So it's true. The father had me, or Allah had me, admitted into the 5%ers, so this Jewish Caucasian can say I am the only living 5%er who is Jewish Caucasian.
And the father gave him a flag.
Right.
And you say sympathizers. No, the father taught people that was of other persuasions, and you might have took them as a sympathizer, like Mayor Lindsay, Barry Garthia, and them. But to them and the teachings that the father gave them, you know what they was? 5%ers, Muslim sons. Okay.
Did they call themselves Muslim sons?
Did you hear the guy say no? Listen.
No. I got to record it.
You know the knowledge equality degree?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so they wasn't a civilized person as we say we are. They wasn't the Muslims like those under Elijah.
Muslim sons.
Yeah, but they was Muslim sons. I mean, it's evident. Okay, but the man got up there, and I always used to think that he was against us.
You thought Sid Davidoff was
I thought Sid Davidoff was against us.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
Because I seen him do a tape one time, and I got the impression that he was calling the father a crazy man.
The night of 1968, when Martin Luther King was killed and the news first came across, Barry Garthia, who is now deceased, and I, who were partners in doing the things in the streets for Lindsay, went up to a bar called the Shalimar on 126th and Lenox, where the 5%ers, and that's a whole nother history, who the 5%ers were a movement that started in the prison system, really. So there's a lot of ex-cons, and their leader was a guy named Allah. And we had formed a relationship with him for quite a period of time. Helped develop programs for him. He was crazy in a way, but he was also someone who was respected by a group of individuals that was difficult to get to. The police didn't want to get to him. There was no one else. They were outcasts. And he brought them in, and we had a relationship.
I think I did see that.
But I looked at it again after he made that statement that he was a 5%er, and I seen the context, in which he said it. That they said that when he read the report that he was a crazy man. That's how they said it. But to him, this was Allah. But when I first heard him say it on the tape,
I recall
it looked like to me that he was calling the father a crazy man.
He was crazy in a way, but he was also someone who was respected by a group of individuals that was difficult to get to.
But it wasn't. He was repeating what he had read in their reports.
Now that's something that I have to go back, because I do remember seeing. I didn't make the connection that was the same individual.
There's one story that sticks out that's the most important to me. That particular time was the night that Martin Luther King was shot, assassinated.
That was the same.
That said that he would come up to Harlem with Mayor Lindsay and
during the riot.
During the riots from Martin Luther King.
He did.
And that he said that there was a man named Allah, and he said, from what I recall, saying, he was a little crazy.
He was crazy in a way.
Yeah. But he had things in check.
Exactly.
Right, at that time.
So, they said he was a little crazy, but he had things in check.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mayor Lindsay wanted to make
that made it clear. Connection with him.
Right. Yeah.
So
now I gotta make that go back and look at the video.
Yeah, you can see it. I had to go back after he said that. And the father See, a lot of people don't realize that when we first got the flags, it was not one of us had to quote a degree to the Father. Not one.
Right, so that's what I wanted to ask you about.
Oh, there was some flags on the table, and the father told me, "Go ahead, look through the flag, see if a flag was there." And I noticed there was a flag there with names like Stephen. God, that always stuck in my head. And I was like, Stephen, what that? So I asked Father, Stephen? He said, "Yeah, son." He said, "That's something you know nothing about. You'll learn." He said, "You'll learn." He said, "We got sympathize that's just as great as y'all."
You know what he asked? What he asked us? Our name. What we want? What you want on your flag? What name do you want on your flag, son? And we told him, and it was a sister recorded it. I think it was for Mel. She worked in the mayor's office, in Barry Gotter's office. The father got her a job, and the father was strategic. He got her a job in Barry Gotter's office so that she can get anything that came across his desk, Barry Gotter's desk, with the father's name on it. And that's what she was in there for. Anything that came across Barry Gotter's desk, the mayor's assistant, executive assistant, with his name on it, get it. And I seen reports that the father gave me to read that had his name on it, and Femel got them. And Femel told me how she used to get them. That she used to, when it came, what she used to do was note it, right? Put it on stash, and wouldn't copy it that night, and come back the next day, first thing in the morning before everybody, and hit it, bam, and put it back where she got it from, and leave it there. Now when she go on lunch, she go stash it in one of them, with them lockers. Remember them lockers? Yeah, she go stash lockers on lunch, right, and stash it in the locker and go back to work. And if she got caught, anybody look at her working papers or whatever, she ain't got nothing. It's already out of the building. At a time when they don't even suspect that she took something, because they ain't checked her lunch and all that type of shit. But anyway, the father put her in position for that. All right, and she was recording the names. So not one of us had to quote a degree to Allah.
So when did it become a requirement?
It never became a requirement until some brothers instituted for whatever reason to have power over somebody else. But they didn't get that from the father. That ain't an example that he set. They got that because somewhere along the line they wanted to have power over the next man.
Well, I mean, do you think it was because, like, at a time, like you know, when father returned, like there were brothers who were coming and, you know, kind of like trying to infiltrate?
It wasn't. That's bullshit. I was here. I couldn't even tell you one brother that was coming to try to infiltrate anything, because we was threatened. Niggas wouldn't even think about coming around us.
Right? Because
look, Robert Walker's a perfect example. Right? He came with that firstborn Muslim shit, and he was taught by the father. And the first day that he came home, he was chased the fuck from amongst us. Excuse my expression, sis, but he was chased from amongst us the first day. That's how sharp we were. A person wasn't laying around us with no BS.
Right.
And Robert Walker was highly qualified. When before he went to Manawa, he had a crib, and we used to go to his crib and smoke and everything. And he was qualified. He had the teachers. But he went buggy somewhere along the line.
If Mecca did this.